Welcome, welcome to the Sharpe Show. Yes, it is 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and it's Tuesday. So, very often, that has been, as you know, a Tuesdays with Andy evening. Well, as probably everyone watching, or at least most of you figured out by now, Andy's walking away. His Majesty, my soon to no longer be Lord and Master, King Andrew Cuomo II, will be walking away from New York State's governor's mansion in 2 weeks. 2 glorious weeks left. That's it. And he will be away for a while at least. We'll see where he will go, what he will do. But I got to tell you, a lot of people are still angry. They are like, we got to burn him. We got to impeach him. We got to put him in jail. And I got to tell you, when I first heard of it, I was kind of petty thinking that. Now I'm like, he's gone. I don't care where he goes. Just go away. Just leave the mansion. I don't care where you go. Just if that's jail, good. If that's not jail, good too. Just go. If that's impeachment, good. If that's not impeachment, good too. Just as long as it's him leaving, I'm pretty good. Okay. I will deal with whatever else is, however that might be. Some of you might be saying to yourself, well, Larry, now that he's gone, well, that means, everything's changed and the Democrats are in trouble and the Republicans they'll figure something out. But no, let me let some of you know what's actually happening here. If he actually stepped down, which, by the way, I was surprised. It wasn't that I didn't think eventually they would get him. I thought eventually they would get him. I did eventually. But I thought it'd be way longer. He would try to push it out, see if something else would come up. But when if you remember, he did his initial opening, right, when his defense. And he gave all the stories that his supporters were supposed to grab and take those lines to defend him, right? Oh, it was a mistake and he just loves people and blah, 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 blah. Yep, that's what he was trying to do, right? And people weren't buying it. So he sent his lawyer out to do the same thing and hope that, okay, well, now the lawyer's saying it, so now people will decide, they'll now support me and do the thing. They didn't. So now he was in trouble. But I wasn't sure he would step down. Really, I wasn't sure. I was like, maybe not. I still wasn't sure. What made me really think is when, is it DiMatteo? No, Melissa DeRosa, when she stepped down. When she stepped down, what I thought is, oh, you stepped down because you think you're going to be in trouble and you now want to go turn state's evidence. You want to turn on your boy and stab His Majesty in the back so you don't go to get in trouble because she's also implicated in all the bad stuff, right? She's implicated too. So she's like, well, I'm going to go get myself a deal so I don't get in trouble. And that's when I started thinking, wait a minute, maybe he is really in trouble. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Once she left, he was like, she's going to turn on me and she's going to get a deal so she doesn't get, prosecuted so they can just hammer me to death. That was going to happen. I really believe that. And that's why I think he finally stepped down when that was the straw that broke the camel's back for him. He was like, that's it, I'm out. But it's not like the Democrats aren't kind of happy. If you remember, I mentioned this literally months ago when he first said he was going to have the Attorney General do the review. I said he only has the Attorney General only has two choices. One, he didn't really do anything. If you remember what I said, this is recorded, so I said it. She has to hammer him hard and go after him. Because if you're going to go after Cuomo, it better be a killing blow. It's got to be, or you're in trouble. You don't want to become Cuomo's enemy when he's in power. That never works. And I got to give it to her. She said, I'm coming hard and I'm going to just devastate him. And she did. And everyone else was like, oh, we all hated him. And maybe we can get him now. And we got him. And the funniest thing is, even with Cuomo being the hero, I'm using air quotes, that he supposedly is, when things got bad, nobody was with him. They were all just not with him anymore. They walked away. He had no friends. And I told you that more than once. Guys, no friends. And this just showed it. No friends whatsoever. He is just, that's it, done. And now he goes away. That's what he does now. So that's a good thing. I'm very happy about that. Now, Democrats. People are going to be saying, wait a minute. So now what happens to the Democratic Party in New York State? Are they lost without him? No. Is there a power vacuum right now? Yes, there is. That's true. There is. There is a power vacuum right now. The question is, will the more left and versus the more moderate parts of the Democratic Party, how are they going to shake that out? And Republicans are watching that. Sad for you Republicans in New York State. This just made stuff worse for Republicans in New York State. I know some are like, yeah, now he's dead and now we're good. No. The Republicans had, a small chance, but a chance with Cuomo there because Cuomo was hated by many of the Democrats in the state, but they just hated Republicans more. But they were iffy. Now they're going to find a Democrat to the best of their ability that's not going to be so distasteful. So now no Democrat's going to vote Republican now. So that's a hard part. So the Republicans are in worse shape than they were in the past. The Democrats will be in a short-term shakeup. They'll find an answer because the state's dominated 3-1 Democrats, Republicans. They'll find an answer. And they'll put somebody up. And the Republicans will throw all their money away again. And I kind of feel bad for Republican donors. The Republican establishment does know that there's no shot at victory. But they have to pretend like there is. And they're going to raise tons of money. And they'll raise, millions of dollars. Lee Zeldin's raising millions of dollars. And it's all going to go in the garbage, which is really embarrassing, bad for them. That's the hardest part, is the state in a statewide election. It's impossible. Republicans in New York State win locally all the time. It's common to win locally in New York State as Republican. But statewide, still, there's just no chance. And don't think that Democrats won't pull somebody out of another state or another someplace for them to come here and run. Don't think they won't say, oh, let's have Mark Cuban come in from Florida or whatever. Does he live in Florida? Where? No. Texas, right? Texas? Wherever he lives. I think he lives in Texas. Mark Cuban, I think, lives in Texas. And have him come in, to New York and be the governor or something. So, yeah, that Democrats might do that. If they can't find somebody, they'll grab some Democrat. They did it with Hillary Clinton. They brought her from Illinois. Came over. Boom, she's our senator. They'll do that again. Democrats are not, they're not at all, against that. They'll do that. Or they'll grab someone popular like AOC and they'll have her run for governor or something, whatever it is, right? It'll be something like that, right? Or worse, it'll be Chelsea Clinton. Whatever. But no, that's not worse. That's actually not worse. Hillary's worse than Chelsea. So I shouldn't say that. Just still bad, but no, it's not worse. But to be forward, there are people who are saying, well, wait a minute, Larry. The Democrats might put somebody worse into the governorship. No, they won't. They might pick somebody who has worse policies. That's possible. Sure. They might pick somebody who wants to crush New York even more. Yes, that's possible. However, they're not going to be the monster that he is, and they can't get it done. They're not going to be able to manipulate and trash the system the way he did. He is still a monster, was a monster. The next person probably won't be a monster. But they might be worse policy-wise, but it won't get passed, right? So in theory, they'll be worse. In practice, they won't. In practice, Cuomo is the worst in actual practice, even though they may find somebody who is philosophically worse. But in actual practice, it's tough to get past Cuomo. Cuomo has been nothing but bad in almost every single way possible. Anyone else who might be philosophically worse than him will be incompetent compared to him in getting his actions done. So yeah, I'm not that concerned about that. The Republican piece is worse in that they actually they're really in trouble now. I don't know how they get around this. The whole thing was anti-Cuomo. Now what do they do? I don't know. I think they're in trouble worse now. So yeah, a bigger problem. But there is a possibility of an outsider still perhaps making something happen. I think that could happen. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to start talking to people about that also. Let me grab some comments if I could real fast. You guys have blown up my chat. I appreciate all the chat if I could. Let's see here. Fahim says, I wonder if any of the accusers mentioned the king's behavior to Lieutenant Governor. Has she ever been asked if any of them told her? If so, doesn't it make her just as guilty? And this is my point, Fahim. She's connected to him. This is why I don't think that she is going to run again, because your point's a valid one. She was on his ticket. She spoke nothing but glowingly about him for years, literally years. She spoke great about him. So I don't think she can run again. I think she's going to do the next year and a half, all about, right, year and a half as governor. And I think then she walks away. The funny part about this is New York State, with Cuomo, the womanizer, because of him, we get our first woman governor. Look at that. That's a little twist. So see, he did care about women after all. See that? He did. Yes, I love that. Alex says, you going to run for governor? I'm a Dem and I would campaign for you. Alex, this opens up a lot of stuff for me. I was giddy this morning during my radio show at WYSL Free Solution at noon today. I was a little bit giddy. I was talking about running as a Democrat, Republican. I was very happy and giddy, and I'm still a little giddy, to be forward with you. So I hope I don't say something too stupid, because I am a little bit, I'm happy. I am. So I am actually thinking about everything. I'm open to running in the Republican primary, the Democratic primary. I'm open to everything right now. I'm actually really thinking about all the things that I can do now. Him going away. I mean, Cynthia Nixon, who ran against him in the primary, she made a statement today. She might want to run a Democratic primary again. She couldn't, because he runs it with like an iron fist. Ran it. Past tense. He ran it with an iron fist where she couldn't even get on the ballot without having signatures. Now, maybe someone like her or me can actually get on the ballot and have a shot at this. So now I'm open to Republicans, Democrats. Obviously, I am a registered Libertarian, and I would run as a Libertarian. For those of you who don't know, in New York State, you can run on multiple lines. There are only a few states who have that. It's called fusion voting. In most states, you are either a Democrat or Republican or Libertarian. In New York State, you can be multiple. In fact, you can be registered as one and be cross-endorsed by others. It happens often in our state. So I can still be a registered Libertarian, which is what I am now, and have Libertarian line and have Democrat, Republican, conservative, working families, whatever line. That is possible. So I'm actually open to all of that. Yes, absolutely. So Andrew says, what will happen to Tuesdays with Andy? I don't know. Maybe it's Tuesdays with Kathy. I don't know. Will she be as exciting and interesting? I don't know. I don't know. Yes. Jeff says, the king is finally dead. Yes, I have spent literally years talking trash about him, and I do feel vindicated. One of the reasons why I'm so giddy. I was saying what a monster he is and how hard it'll be to get rid of him. Finally, it took 11 women. Thank you, women. It took 11 women to get rid of him. Good. Thank you. I always look forward to Sharpe, but I don't think I've ever been more excited for an episode. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So, and it says, Larry seemed a little giddy. It's true. Guilty as charged. John says, hope he doesn't move to Florida. Why wouldn't he? That's where New Yorkers go, right? So he'll go to Florida or something. Yes, absolutely. Jonathan, I was stoked with the first, you know, that's right. Jonathan called in and told me. That's absolutely right. Jonathan called into the show and told me. Thank you, Jonathan. Brother, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes. So, tar and feather. Look, Ben, I don't want to be like that, if that makes any sense, right? He's gone. Can we start to repair, right? I mean, that's really what I'm looking for. One of the reasons why I'm excited or happy about this is I think maybe we have a chance to break some of the corruption in New York State. It's not going to be easy because it is literally systemic. It's everywhere. There are a lot of changes that have to be made, right? Ideas, fixing things like for those who don't know, in New York State, there are economic development corporations throughout the entire state. They are literally petri dishes for corruption. That's all they are. Those have to go away. but they can't go away immediately because all the people are already, they're on boards and all the money goes back and forth, but they have to go away too. We got to get rid of them as soon as possible. I don't think soon to be Governor Hochul will make those choices. I would hope she would. I don't think she will, because that's where money comes from. The money comes from the people on the boards. His Majesty gets about $500,000 a year. I'm not joking, from people who he puts on boards. They give him money and support his campaign. And what a coincidence. They're on different boards and commissions. So we have to break that system for sure. We have to break so many of the systems in the state. So do I want to focus on tar and feathering him? Others will. There's 11 victims who are prepared to take care of him. Let them work on that. That's what it is. Let them work on it. Roman says, Larry, does mean you'll run now? To be forward, I was really on the fence. And people close to me know I was really on the fence. My concern was, could I raise enough money to have impact? Could I raise enough money to have impact was the biggest issue. Can I have impact? And I was concerned. I feel like this changed a lot. It puts the Republicans in a worse position, and it opens up the Democrats, which is what I want. I want Republicans in a bad position and Democrats open in my state. That's how it worked best for me in this state. So I think now things have opened up for me, in my view. So I am considering. I really am. So, and for those of you who want to help me, you can always go to LarrySharpe.com if you want to. If you want to show me some love and let me know that you want me to run, head over to LarrySharpe.com, click that donate button, or if it's in the description, click that button there, Larry Sharpe 2021/2022. If you're interested, I'm happy to take donations because I will use that money either to run if I do that, and I don't know if I will or not. I don't even have exploratory committee up yet, so we'll see. Or at a minimum, I'll just do assist and cross this state and support whoever would, or support the candidates who will. So either way, it's going to go to the right spot. It will. I've been doing this now for 5 years now total. So yeah, you know what I've been doing. So please, if you want to help, now will be the time. LarrySharpe.com, click the donate button, put some money in that tin and see what we can do. If you don't want to be political, you say, Larry, I love you, but I don't want to be political. No worries. Support the show. Still helps me. Helps my team more than me, right? It does help my team more than me, but it's fine. My team has to work too, so that's fine. Support the team. Head on over to patreon.com/sharpeway. Support the show if you like. So thank you for that question, though. I didn't want his reign to end this way. I wanted you to beat him. Yeah, and that would have been even better. I think a one-on-one with him would have been great. I totally agree. But the problem with the one-on-one would have been having to actually do the one-on-one is hard. That's all. Sam says, pray to God we don't get Governor de Blasio or Governor AOC. Sam de Blasio might run. Like, that is his mindset. He is a true believer. He thinks people just don't understand how awesome he is. Like, that's what he thinks. De Blasio actually might run. That's a real thing. He might actually run. I would not be surprised if he runs. I don't think AOC will run. Someone who supports her or someone who's like AOC might run. I don't think she will. Just my gut. I think she won't. So yes. Bye-bye, Cuomo. Yes, I would agree. You will still have a Larry. Let's go. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate that. Absolutely, I appreciate that. Yes. So 2 weeks from today's show topic, Tuesdays without Andy. It'll just be me laughing. That will be the entire show. It'll be an hour of me just laughing. Tuesdays without Andy. So a boring show, but I think we could enjoy the hour of laughing. It's kind of good. Shelley says it's not soon enough, and the only place he has left to go is prison. Or with his mother, and that poor man doesn't deserve that at all. Shelley, you brought that up earlier, and it's a really valid point. I'm so glad you brought it up. The people that I feel sorry for, not him. He deserves it. I do not feel sorry for him at all. But I do feel bad for his family members. They didn't pick him, right? His daughters didn't pick him, right? They didn't pick their dad. That's their dad. And how do they feel now? His daughters feel bad. I'm sure his mother is just heartbroken. I'm sure his mother is just torn up about this. I'm sure his mother feels terrible too. But I mean, his daughters, I really feel bad for. They're just victims, just like all the rest. Not like the 11. They're victims like we are. They're victims in between us, right? We are victims of his reign. The 11 victims are victims of him directly, and the daughters are in between. But we're all victims of His Majesty. Luckily, he's gone. I can't wait to stop that. Yes, so good. Yes, absolutely. So anyway, yes. All right. See if I can keep doing here. Blast and Smash says saddest day, no more Cuomo commentary. This was the best part of last Sharpe show, guys. It was good. I love that. I do love that. Chad says if New York had the brains to put a truly like Larry Sharpe, we wouldn't have to have such a black eye from King Cuomo. Valid point. But let me move a little further if I can. There are many things that have to change now, which is why I'm so excited. And other states should be looking at this. If you're not in New York State, you should still be looking at this, because now is a chance to make actual change. The status quo can finally stop. All we've been doing for the past 10 years is shifting more towards centralized power, centralized control, centralized power, centralized control. And all it's been doing is making people leave the state, supporting more and more government. In fact, let me play bits of what he said to show you what I mean. I'll show you a couple of bits of what he said when he walked away, because, you know, it's not his fault. Is it ever? Even in resigning, he couldn't walk away. Even in resigning, couldn't do it no matter what.
But the political environment is too hot, and it is too reactionary for that now.
See, it's the political environment that screwed him over. It had nothing to do with the fact that he was harassing women, grabbing them, singing to them on the phone, stuff like that, trying to have sex with the people who were his juniors. It's not that at all. It's the political environment. It's too hot. If it wasn't so hot, I guess he would have had sex with them. I don't know, whatever. But it's just, it's the environment, not him.
And it is unfortunate.
It is sad that you have to go.
Now, you know me.
Oh, I do know you. Yes. I've been talking about you for years, my friend. I know you very well, homeboy. I know you very well. And I had a feeling this day was coming at one point, and here it is.
I'm a New Yorker, born and bred.
Yep.
I am a fighter.
Yep.
And my instinct is to fight through this controversy.
I knew that.
Because I truly believe it is politically motivated.
No, you don't.
I believe it is unfair and it is untruthful.
You do believe it's unfair. See, he gave you 3 of them. Political, he doesn't believe that. Unfair, yes. He's royalty. He should be able to fondle women. That's what he believes, and that's clearly unfair. Why can't he fondle peasants? He's the king. He does believe that. So he does believe it's unfair. That was accurate. But he doesn't think it's untruthful. He knows it's truthful. He knows what he did.
And I believe it demonizes behavior that is unsustainable.
So he's against cancel culture now? Wasn't he the guy yelling, believe all women? Wasn't he the one saying, put everybody in jail? Wasn't he the one saying, everybody's got to step down? He was all about cancel culture when it wasn't him. Now it's him. Oh, cancel culture is unsustainable. Look at that. Look at that. Now he's all anti-cancel culture now. Aw. He may become libertarian eventually. No, he won't, because we won't take him. That's fine.
For society.
See that?
If I could communicate the facts through the frenzy,
the frenzy,
New Yorkers would understand.
Of course they would. It's the frenzy that gets in the way, Tom. See, you thought that he was just a bad guy where even his people were leaving him and all his friends were leaving. No, it's the frenzy. That's the problem. Without that, I mean, New Yorkers would be like, yeah, of course you should make exceptions for state troopers that you think are hot and bring them on and ask about their sex life. That's normal, but the frenzy messes it up.
I believe that.
No, you don't.
But when I took my oath as governor,
I remember.
Then it changed.
Then you realized you could intimidate people even more. It did change. That's when you were like, now I have the power. Now I can really intimidate people. That's true.
I became a fighter, but I became a fighter for you.
Oh, before you were selfish.
And it is your best interest
Got it.
that I must serve.
Okay. Yeah. You haven't been doing that for 10 years. So today you figured it out. You know what, Pete? Better late than never. That's what I would say, Pete. He figured it out today. I wish he had figured it out about 11 years ago. I guess I'll take today. You figured it out. Yes, it's not about you.
This situation, by its current trajectory, will generate months of political and legal controversy.
And you
That is
that.
what is going to happen.
I would agree.
That is how the political wind is blowing.
Political winds and the frenzies.
It will consume government. It will cost taxpayers millions of dollars.
And you are all about saving taxpayer money. I mean, you have always been. I can remember, let me list all the times you have cared about taxpayer money. Finished. Because you have never cared about taxpayer money. Not once. You have thrown it away like there is no tomorrow. Our budget, for those you don't know, is $212 billion. That's New York State's budget. There are only 20 countries and California that have bigger budgets on the planet. That's it. Florida, with more people than us, has half our budget and no state income tax. So yeah, you've been caring about taxpayer dollars. Yeah, you have.
It will brutalize people.
You don't want to brutalize people. I mean, we've lost almost 2 million New Yorkers in the past 11 years because you've just brutalized us. But now you care. Better late than never.
The State Assembly yesterday outlined weeks of process,
which you saw,
that will then lead to months of litigation.
Yep.
Time and money that government should spend managing COVID. Guarding against the Delta variant.
That's
reopening upstate, fighting gun violence.
Fighting gun violence. We need some more safe acts. We need that stuff. We can't have millions of dollars putting me in jail when we got to do Safe Act 7 or whatever is the next Safe Act we're doing. We got that to do.
And saving New York City.
See that?
All that time would be wasted.
Wasted on, because he cares. Starting to feel a little verklempt. He cares about us.
This is one of the most challenging times for government in a generation.
You did that. That's true.
Government really needs to function today. Government needs...
The rest of the days, who cares? But today it's got to. All right. Then what do you... Okay, so if you care so much about government functioning, maybe you would spend more time working on government and less time fondling women. I'm just saying. Not that you can't have some fun time. I mean, we should have fun time, but I bet you had fun time and fondled women, and yeah, I think you did all those things.
To perform. It is a matter of life and death, government operations.
It is.
And wasting energy on distractions is the last thing that state government should be doing.
You've never done that.
And I cannot be the cause of that.
You love us.
New York tough.
Yeah.
Means New York loving.
Is that what that means?
And I love New York.
You,
and
I mean, you love New York. You put it in a bear hug and squeezed it so much that it's almost dead. See, there's your problem. That's it. I found the answer. When Cuomo loves something, he grabs it and squeezes it too hard. That's why he got in trouble. He grabbed those women and was squeezing them and stuff. He shouldn't have been squeezing the women, but because he loved them. He grabbed New York in a chokehold. He's been choking it out for the past 11 years. It's because he loves New York. The problem is he loves too much. See, you guys, he's misunderstood. He loves too much. Oh, we're going to miss a guy who loves us too much that he was choke us to death.
Love you.
He does.
And everything I have ever done has been motivated by that love.
Is there anybody, and this is, I really wonder, even his supporters, are any of his supporters saying, yeah, I believe this. This works. This is the right answer. I get it. I believe him. Or is he just trying his best to kind of get people to have an answer so that they can defend him? Because he's got a lot of people who got behind him. All those Cuomo sexuals, remember that? Everybody who loved him so much. What do they do now? Is this their answer?
And I would never want to be unhelpful in any way.
That? You don't be unhelpful.
And I think that given the circumstances,
yeah,
the best way I can help now,
how can you,
is if I step aside and let government get back to governing.
Or you could step aside and not care at all and let government do less. That could work
and
too.
Therefore, that's what I'll do. because I work for you
You do.
and doing the right thing.
But I don't remember asking you to assault women. I don't remember that in your job description, or harassing them. I don't remember that part. I don't know who did it. Pete, did you tell him that? Were you the one who told him to go? Did you give him those marching orders? You told him go harass and grab women? I didn't do that. I don't know which of his bosses told him that. I don't remember that part. I don't remember who told him to do that.
Is doing the right thing for you.
Thank you.
Because as we say, it's not about me.
Yeah,
it's about we.
It's about we.
Kathy Hochul, my lieutenant governor, is smart and competent. This transition must be seamless.
I love that.
We have a lot going on. I'm very worried about the Delta variant, and so should you be.
Everyone
but she can
COVID.
Come up to speed quickly.
And I love this. And that's him walking away. And even walking away, he was like, not really my fault. I still love you. I'm good. I'm just misunderstood. See, I love too much. That's the issue. Now, I know I've teased him often and joked about it. But the problem is guys like him, people like him, always act the same way. It's never their fault. They're always aggressive and angry until caught. Then they fall back to what most sociopaths fall back to at the end. Pity. At the end, pity me. See, I loved you. I loved you. But you just didn't get it, right? I loved you, just didn't get it. Is it any more textbook than this? I mean, this guy's clearly, an abuser. Clearly. Maybe I could be wrong. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But to be forward, I don't care anymore. He's gone. Good. Go away. Just go get a TV show on MTV. Do that, right? Get the real ex-governors of New York. Do that. You can hang out with Spitzer and Patterson. You do like a little reality show TV. Spitzer will get the sex workers. You can harass the sex workers that he pays for. Patterson will hang out and tell some cool jokes. It'll be a great show. I'll watch it. I love it. I'll watch it. Oh, good. And we have Anthony Weiner could show up, right? And maybe he'll text some people. He's only Anthony, 18 years or older, adults only. Don't mess around. You screw around, Anthony Weiner. He'll come up. We'll have like a whole thing. This is a great show. I'm just saying, let's do that. And they could all make their own money. And then they can write books on what great leaders they are. And we could all buy them. I think this is a great deal. Anything, just he's gone. And if that's what it took, if I had to watch that show so that he would leave, I would have done it. But I don't have to, which is even better. No one has to watch that show. Actually, I would watch that show. I'm just saying. I would watch that show. But in any case, let's keep going then. Ryle says, New York State needs a sharper way. I hope so. A lot of you guys, thank you. Larry for New York. Larry for governor. Awesome. Guys, if you're serious about this, you want it to happen, then help me out. Please help me out. Head over to LarrySharpe.com. Throw some cash my way. If you can do a monthly donation, do it. Either way, I'm going to need it. I'm going to need to build a team out if I'm going to do this, or I got to help the next person who's going to do it. Either one. Whatever the answer is, and I'm going to be talking to people in the coming days, within a week or so. I should decide if I'm going to start an exploratory committee or not. Right? I don't want to promise you something that I can't deliver, but to be forward with you, and some of you may think it's funny or not. This takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money. And it's not because, well, Larry, you just want to have a lot of money. No, if you guys know me, I got my butt kicked last time. I didn't take a salary or nothing. I got killed last time. I got financially trashed last time I did it. And I would do it again. It's not for me to be forward with you. It's for polling. Yeah. It's for things like polling. It's for things like advertising. It's for things, just all the things that are required. It's for pay a team to make sure that my social media is on point. It's all those things. It takes lots of money. And so, yeah, that does affect me. If I think no one's going to give me any money, am I going to run out there and kill myself and not get impact? No, I want impact this time. I want real impact. I want an actual shot at winning this damn thing. And I think we can do it. It's possible. Let's have a conversation is all I'm saying. So I appreciate your help, guys. I love your support. Please don't stop. It's all awesome. So great. Is that right? Louis Rossman gave me a shout out. Look at me. I'm rocking and rolling, guys. I am rocking and rolling. Yes. And you said it would never happen. Guess what? They all said Libertarian would never be a governor of New York. Come on, Larry Sharpe. Yep, maybe. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Maybe too, this is with Kathy. That's possible. Yes, that's possible. Absolutely. There we go. So there are 11 scandals running Cuomo. It's a lot. I agree. Yes. Thomas says, don't forget to take the world's most political quiz. Thank you, Thomas. You are the man. I appreciate that. Guys, one of the people who sponsor this show is the Advocates for Self-Government. They ask you take the world's smallest political quiz. They help sponsor the show, which helps provide cash for my team so we can keep doing what we're doing. You see the stuff that we put out, all the videos we put out, the TikTok that we put out, the Twitter feed, all that stuff is done by my team. Well, often while I'm working, trying to make my own cash for my own money, for my own business. My team does a lot of work for me. They're really good at what they do. You want to help them out? Keep my sponsors happy. World's Smallest Political Quiz. Take it. It's free. You don't give any money. It's free. Take it. If you've already taken it, share it. They love it. And if you've already taken it and shared it, there are about 6 or 7 other surveys and quizzes. Take those. Share those. The more people who see it, the better. And why? If you're saying, Larry, this is a time for liberty to move forward, you're right. You are correct. Get your friends to take this quiz. They may realize they're more libertarian than they think. And even if they're not, now you're not talking about liberty or freedom. You're talking about actual issues that Americans care about, and you can show them that you care. It is super valuable. Please get out there, click that link, take the world's most political quiz. It's free. If you've already taken it, share it. If you've already shared it, take one of the other quizzes and share those. There's like 6 or 7 other quizzes there. It's fun. It's interesting. It's often accurate on top of it. So please go ahead and do that. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate what you just did, Thomas. All right, there we go. Bridget said, he's not perverted. He's just Italian. You know, I'm not Italian. But if I was Italian, I wouldn't be happy about that. Like, that's like smearing me, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming if for those people who are of Italian descent, you must be like, that's not, my mom didn't teach me I should go grab people as I go through a door and grab their butts. I don't remember. I mean, I had tons of Italian friends when I grew up here in New York. I had tons of Italian friends. I don't remember any of them thinking, you know what, we should just grab people by the butt as we walk through a door. I don't remember any of them doing that or even saying that. Not one time. I mean, maybe I only knew like special Italians or something. I didn't think so. So yeah. So yes. Paul says, as long as Kathy Hochul doesn't impose lockdowns, curfews, mask mandates, or vaccine passes for this fall, I'll be happy. Of course, Larry, get my vote in 2022. Thank you. I'm not sure what Kathy's going to do. I think she'll pick one thing, whether it's education or COVID or something, and she'll focus on that and try to get that to be a positive thing that she can hang her hat on. And I think she walks away after that. That's what my gut says. So we'll see. Edward says it's Sharpe time. I appreciate that. Sharpe 22. Thank you. Absolutely. It's great. I appreciate that. Yes. He must have really pissed off the higher ups off. I think they realized finally that they could get him. The thing that someone like Cuomo, remember, he relies upon strength and fear and power. That's how he rules. Once he's vulnerable, all the knives come out. And he was finally vulnerable. And the person who did it, without question, I'll give her credit, right? I'm not a huge Tisha James fan in general, but I always try to give people credit where credit is due. She put together a report that just sunk him. Just sunk him. That report was so powerful. And I got to tell you, Cuomo, really, how bad was he to think that I'll give it to her and then I'll scare her into submission, which what he tried to do. She didn't play it. She's like, I'm not being scared. I'm coming out right. I got the sword out. I'm coming right at you. And she won. I mean, yeah, well done. Yes. So there we go. Myron, the king is no more. Yes, absolutely. Wade says, oh, Larry, I'm going to jail. I hope not, Wade. Is that true? Someone help Wade. I hope he's teasing. I don't want you to go to jail, Wade. I hope you're not going to jail. That would suck. Please reach out. Shelly says, exactly why I thought the rules had declined. Yeah, I think you're right. That's why she walked away. She was ready to actually do that. Yes, she was. Absolutely. So happy King Cuomo's out. How do you think his choice is going to be? I don't know anything about her. As I mentioned earlier, I've only met her a couple times. She seems like a nice person. I didn't feel like she was as dismissive as Cuomo was when I met him. She seems nice, so I'm assuming she's a decent human being. Again, don't know her. That's my assumption. I've only met her a couple times. So yeah, I think she'll be fine. I think she'll be mediocre is my gut. I don't feel someone like Cuomo who has such a massive ego. I don't think he would pick a lieutenant governor who had any real strength. That's my gut, because he would feel like she might overshadow him. Good leaders want good lieutenants and good juniors, right? They want that. Despotic leaders don't. They want leaders they want juniors who are just weak and that they can dominate and control. And I think that's what he was trying to do. So my gut is she isn't that awesome. But again, I don't know her. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So yes. All right. Let's see if I can grab this here if I can. The Eskimo Libertarian says, crazy stuff happened the day I take a break from meme making. Well, you better get back to work now. Crazy stuff's going on. You thought you had a day off. As Myron says, no days off. That is correct. No days off. Absolutely. So Tony says, this clears the way for Letitia James for New York governor, as I said last week on this show. Yeah. The question is, do Democrats get behind her or not? My gut says yes, right? My gut says they can get behind her because, one, she's the Cuomo slayer, right? So that's one good thing she has. Two, Black woman, always good, right? For the optics of the Democratic Party, well done. But also she's basically top cop. So she gets the top cop concept, right? While still being a Democrat, similar to Eric Adams in New York City. I think it's not a bad pick if they go for her. But again, I mean, how then does a Republican go against her without looking terrible? I know you're saying, Larry, that's identity politics and totally unfair. Yes, you're right. It's identity politics and totally unfair and true. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just being real. You know what I'm talking about. It is identity politics. It is unfair, and it's true. So to go against her, you really got to have either a person of color or a woman. Or how do you do that? It doesn't come across good. It just doesn't. It is unfair and identity politics, and it's also big in New York State, especially in New York State. That is how it works. So, Tony, it's a valid point. She does check a lot of the boxes when it comes to ideology, when it comes to background, and the look. She checks all of those boxes. It's true. She does. I don't know how good of a leader she is. I don't know that, to be forward with you. She's a mediocre speaker, which is nice because that's always a good thing when you're up against someone who doesn't speak very well. So, yes. All right. Pete says, what deals did Cuomo make? I have a feeling he made very few. He didn't hold many of the cards. I think he made some bad deals, is my gut. He didn't hold much to negotiate with. He just didn't have that. So, yes. So anyway. Jason says, I was hoping a lot of Democrats were man enough to we would have made a different party line, i.e. Libertarian. Yeah. Yeah. Jason, your points are valid when it comes to major parties, right? Republicans had a better chance with Cuomo than without Cuomo because there were a lot of Democrats who just didn't want to vote, who might not have shown up. But now that there is a non-Cuomo Democrat option, none of those Democrats are going to vote Republican. It's not. It's New York. They're not going to vote Republican. They'd rather vote for Letitia James than they would any Republican. It's just how it works. But would they vote for Libertarian? I did prove that in 2018. I got a whole bunch of Democrats voting for me. So I can get Democrats to vote for me. Republicans they just can't. It's just the way the state works. It's the way the state works. And again, unfair and not even logical. It's only emotional and true. Emotional and true. Yes. Does this make it easier now for nursing home death charges to be filed? They're not going to be, right? The nursing home thing is over. They're not going to deal with that. That's not a thing. They're not going to charge him. They may, use that as a reason for impeachment. Maybe, but they're not going to, the actual criminal charges are over. It's not going to happen. Sam says, if you're watching, that like button. I agree. Sam is right. Do you want this message to get out to more people? Well, I got to not be shadow banned. So click that like button, comment, share, let people know I'm doing this. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Sam. John says that in the political world of duopoly, do you ever really have friends or just people who benefit each other? It's a great question. The environment isn't good, but I think we do have friends, right? It's just rare, but I think we do. I can look at in my own world when I ran for governor last time, in the last ending months, the people who were close to me realized it wasn't going to go well. And they didn't bail on me. They doubled down. They stayed with me the whole time until the last day. They stayed. So I think you can have friends. It's just hard. And you have to have the environment and you have to have the personality that isn't, well, John, what have you done for me lately? You're a tool for me. You got to not be that guy. You've got to be the guy that says, I'm here, help me the best you can. Let's keep going. Let's try to work together, right? I bug you guys all the time, right? But I don't always bug you for money. I say, take the world's most political quiz. It's free. And I also say, give me money. I say both, right? I say all those things. I say, here's value. I talk to you all. We were on the phone together today at noon. So in that environment, I think you can. It's possible, but it is hard. I think it is challenging. Absolutely. So the Democrats are currently heroic. That won't last long. This is a good point again. Shelley, you are knocking on a park tonight. Yes, you're totally right. Right now, they slayed the king, right? The Democrats, they were the ones who slayed him, which is, again, why Republicans are going to suffer. Republicans didn't slay him. They didn't. Democrats did, right? So now it looks like, for now, see, Democrats are cleaning house. They're fixing their own. And right now, she's right. You're right, Shelley. Right now, they look good. See, we cleaned our own. But it's not going to last, because they're going to start eating their own and doing dumb things again. But now they do look good. The thing they were able to do is not let Republicans get a win out of this here in New York. That was a savvy move by them. That was a savvy move. So, yes. So Chet says, I guess all the elderly that King Cuomo's responsible for losing their lives will never see justice. Sadly, Chet, I think that's true. I think they will not see justice. I do. Yes. Do you believe that Attorney General Letitia James will eventually crush Kathy Hochul in the Democratic primary? My gut is Hochul is not going to run. That's what my gut. My gut is Hochul's not going to run. So I think Letitia James will be in a primary. Hey, maybe I'll join her in a primary. So for you guys to know, in New York State, in theory, this is theory, I could run in multiple primaries. So maybe I'm fighting two people in two different primaries. It's possible. We'll see. A lot of conversations to have whether I'm going to put up an actual campaign, Expo Church Committee or not. But in theory, I could go against both of them. Who cares? All good. So I get pressed for that. That's for sure. And guys, again, if you want to help out, please, happy to have you help out. Head over to the link that's in the description. Throw me a couple bucks. Whatever you can do. If you can do a monthly donation, nothing but going to help you guys know no matter what. I'm doing another full Sharpe this year. If we don't start an actual campaign, we'll do a full Sharpe. Either way, you know we got to move this state forward, because what happens in New York crosses the rest of the nation. You know it does. So if you want to go do that, please head on over and do that if you can. Of course, if you want to help me out the show itself, patreon.com/Sharpeway. Awesome if you do that. Or take the world's smallest political quiz. All works. Absolutely. So, yes. Kurt says, I've read that Kathy Hochul will be just as bad as Cuomo, if not worse. No, she won't be worse. No, not at all. She will not be worse at all. No. She will be bad, I think. Probably, but she will not be worse. I don't believe that at all. Yeah. So there we go. John says $20 is Hillary or Chelsea Clinton. I would take that bet. It's neither. I don't think it's either of those two, but you never know. John, I'll take that bet. $20. It's not Hillary. It's not Hillary for sure. Even though Hillary has lived here. I mean, she could do it. I mean, Hillary could do it, right? And so could Chelsea in theory. So they both live in New York. So it is possible they could both do it. So it's possible. I mean, to be forward, if the Democrats thought they couldn't get anybody strong enough, they would do that. They're not against that, right? They're not against doing something like that. They absolutely would. So there we go. There we go. I feel bad for Cuomo's daughters. Andrew, I agree. Absolutely. Down goes Cuomo. Charles, nicely done. Very good. Absolutely. Frank's were a carpetbagger candidate. That is an issue we have to be concerned about. I agree. Yes, that is an issue for them to be worried about. So Alfred says, can't wait to rename the Mario Cuomo Bridge the MetLife Bridge. This is something Republicans have been talking about. And this is the kind of thing that, to be forward, bothers me. Not that we shouldn't rename the bridge. We should rename the bridge. But what you have right now is, instead of Republicans talking about actual policies, they're talking about, let's get Cuomo. He's corrupt. Let's rename the MetLife Bridge. That's not what I want to talk about. You know what I want to talk about? Changing all of the rules that we need to adjust and shift because of the COVID lockdowns, and realizing some of them we didn't need at all, and not reinstating any of those that we didn't need, and letting the local small markets be better. What is causing all this violence across the country, but heavily in New York City and New York State, is the black market. It's not more policing, less policing. That's not the key issue. I mean, those are part of the issue, obviously, but it isn't the key issue. The key issue is the black market. Well, get rid of the black market. Making taxation simpler and easier and less of it, allowing companies to put their names on bridges and such, allowing the working poor and the middle class to survive again. That's what I would like to do. Who's talking about that? I've been talking about that for years, literally for years. For those of you who care, I have not changed my LarrySharpe.com webpage. It's still there. The whole site's still there with my policies right there. If you keep my policies, they're still there. I have to update them now, but they're still there. And the policies weren't about Cuomo's evil and liberty. It wasn't that. It was actual policies to make New York State a better state. Now we can talk about that. And again, sir, Alfred, I do want to change the Mario Cuomo bridge. I do. But I'm not leading with that. Republicans are actually leading with that. Yeah, can't wait. We're going to change the bridge. Cuomo's a corrupt guy. Cuomo's gone now. How are you going to fix stuff? I can yell about Cuomo too. Anybody can. How are you going to fix stuff? That's the issue. So thank you for that, though. I do appreciate that. Yes. All right. All right. So yes, Libertarian says, just did a show talking about representatives living in different states that they represent. Yes, absolutely. Yes. The Las Vegas Republicans say we don't see New York picking a Republican governor. I don't either. I'm with you. I think the odds are actually less than they were. With Cuomo, you'd have some people who hate Cuomo so much they might hold their nose and maybe vote Republican, maybe. But to be clear, there was a lot of people who knew Cuomo was a bad guy already, and they still stood behind him. That was the issue. So yeah, that's an issue. So John says, would they potentially run Hillary rehab job? I think Hillary's a last choice, but I think she's on the list, but I don't think she's top choice. Like no one else will have to want to do it. That's the issue. And here's the problem. You know, who wants to take over this state? Really? I don't mean that jokingly. It is in a financial spiral. It's in a small business spiral. It's in trouble, and people are leaving in droves. It's in trouble. This state is in a terrible state. It's just in a bad spot. Who wants to take control of this thing? The funny part is that's stuff that I do for a living. Like I like coming and fixing things. That's a good thing. I like that. Policy and fixing things is what I like. So I don't mind doing it. But a lot of people would want to do it because the odds are, how are you going to fix it? Particularly if you're not savvy enough and all you ever do is yell, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. How would you even know? Right? How would you even know? So yes. So David says leadership of the Democratic Party will coalesce around one or two people for government in 2022. It will either be the current lieutenant governor or New York AG. If any, I think New York AG, if any. That's right. If any, New York AG. Sharpe says de Blasio might run. Yes. Yes. Primary. He might absolutely be there. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Absolutely could see that happening. That is definitely possible. Yes. So, all right. Let's see here. Too many people moved. Eric, that's the point. Yes. A lot of people have moved. You're totally correct. A lot of people hated Cuomo. They already left. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Yes. It's terrible. So, yeah. All right. Who wants to fix it? Hopefully Larry Sharpe. I am there. Absolutely. Frank says Hillary's damaged goods. She couldn't survive a Democrat primary. Interesting point, Frank. That would be her hardest. You're right. If she won the primary, I think she wins the governorship. But you're right. The primary will be her challenge. If she could win the primary, I think she could win the general election in New York. I think she could. But definitely, yeah, you're right. The primary is going to be a lot harder. You're right, Frank. I agree. David says they're leaving New York and coming to my state, Delaware, flooding the beaches with liberalism. They're all over the place. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Just a Chick says, just sending more respect, peace, and strength your way, Mr. Sharpe. Love from Michigan. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. Alfred says, I like that, Larry. Cuomo's gone. Let's fix New York. I agree completely. Right? That's the issue. Chuck says, do I dust off my Sharpe t-shirts from my closet? A lot of you guys, still have my Larry Sharpe Gum t-shirts. I know you do. There was no date on them. So if you want to start wearing them again, you can, because there's no date. So you could wear them again if you want to. All good. Absolutely. So not a bad deal. So Matt says, so is it possible someone got to Cuomo and convinced him to fall on a sword to take the teeth out of Republicans? Yes, I think that is possible, Matt. Maybe even take culpability for the nursing home strategy to insulate Democrats to other states that follow the same strategy. Or is too much of a narcissist and just realized there was no path to survival? I'll tell you what I'm thinking. If he made a deal, and Pete was asking, and Pete's thinking, he knows the man, just like I do, he knows. If he made a deal, the deal was for him to not be impeached. Why? If he's impeached, then he can't run again. That's how that works. If you get impeached, you can't run again. He may want to run for something again. He may want to do the, I've changed. He might want to do that and run for something again. It's possible. And if he runs for something again, right? So it's possible. So he probably thought, you know what? Don't impeach me and I'll walk away. I think, if anything, that was what the deal that he made. So yes, I'm Italian. We only touch our wives and girlfriends. That's good. That's consensual. That's the good touching, right? The consensual stuff. That's good. Vox Darso says, it's not an Italian thing. It's a mafia thing. Ooh, it's a mafia thing. So he's a mob. Okay. Okay. Maybe. Tim says, I'm half Italian. My Italian family does none of that. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember Italian people doing this at all. I don't remember this ever happening. Yes. Shelley says, I grew up with Italians from Italy and they never did anything like Cuomo did. Yeah, I don't remember this. This is like he made this up. Yes. Frank says, as an Italian American, I'm insulted to be chronicled by Cuomo as a womanizer. Thank you, Frank. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember this. I was around a lot of Italian guys and I don't remember any of them. I don't remember that. So yes. Larry Sharpe, come down to North Carolina. Forget about New York. It's my state, Anthony. I appreciate it, but it is my state. Aisha says, here from Louis Rossman's channel. Thank you, Aisha. I'm glad you welcome. We are going to try to fix things. And a couple things I want to bring up here, right, with fixing things. The environment has to be repaired more than anything. And I don't just mean like the physical environment, like the Green New Deal type stuff. I don't mean that. I mean the environment too, obviously. But we have to be able to actually make it so that people want to stay here. That's the critical piece. People should want to stay in New York City, want to stay in New York State, want to stay upstate, downstate, not care, want to stay in the state. And we're not doing a good job of that at all. All we're doing is putting more rules and regulations into play. We have to allow the areas to be better. And more importantly, here's what we can learn from COVID. For those of you who care, you remember, not this year, last March of 2020, I put together a plan on how to handle COVID. That plan is still valid. It hasn't gone away. It's still valid. And we can take the rules and things that we actually learned from this and put them into play in perpetuity. Don't we always want to be prepared for something like this, an emergency? So why don't we change the rules permanently? Why don't we adjust and shift to give local people and prepare them? What we learned more than anything, Aisha, I hope you enjoy this. What we learned more than anything from COVID is that local communities, in many cases, have lost the institutional knowledge to support each other, to support themselves. We've lost it. And when government collapses, the monopoly of government leaves everybody just hanging around. And boom, black market opens up in everything. Black market's not just in drugs. It is in drugs, but not only in drugs. It's also in labor, because people are getting their checks and they don't want to lose their checks, so they're working off the books, happening all over the place. So there's a black market in labor. So what happens, David, when you and I go do some work, and it's in the black market, and I say, I'm going to pay you $400 to do this thing. You go, thanks, Larry, great. And then you do it, and I don't pay you. Can't go to the cops. Can't do anything. Street justice. Yeah. And of course, we're selling other things. We're selling cell phones black market because the stores weren't open. We were selling all types of things black market because stuff wasn't open. We still needed stuff. So we still did stuff. Black market, black market, black market. That's what's been happening again and again and again. We have to get rid of the black market by allowing people to be in the open market more and more. That's how I got out of South Bronx. My family is the open market, getting people to work together, make things happen. We can do this. We can absolutely do this. And we do it better than other states. That's what I'm talking about. The environment has to change. We can do it. John says, Larry Sharpe's happiness tour 2022. I love that. We do need to be happy. That should be the focus. Absolutely. That should be the focus. 100%. So, Missy says, oh, yeah, support the Sharpe way. Thank you. Yes, please. Like, comment, and share. Notification button, please, of course. But for those of you who want me to run for office, I appreciate that. And I would love to. I got to think about if it makes sense for me and for you, for everybody. Of course, support matters. And thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you guys want to help out, click that link, the Larry Sharpe link over there, LarrySharpe.com. Throw me a couple bucks. Tell me what you feel. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, I know you are. And right now, Brian is saying, you know what? I want to give Larry $45,000. I know Brian's saying it right now. He's like, I can't wait to give Larry $45,000. I know you're saying it, but you can't. I'll get in trouble if you do that. It's too much. I can't take that much. New York State rules. I can only take $44,000. I'm not joking. That's the maximum. So don't give me $45,000. I know you were getting ready to get online right now, Brian. You were like, let me put in my credit card, $45,000 to Larry Sharpe. I know you were thinking that. Don't get me in trouble. Just do $44,000 and we're good. Or, you know, to be safe, do like $40,000. Just do $40,000 and we're good. Clearly, I'm teasing. I don't think it's going to be $4,000. But if any of you want to, please do that. Because if you do that, I will literally buy polling with that. I'm not even joking. I will literally buy polling with that. We will get in the polls. So if any of you want to give $40,000, feel free to do so. But I'm teasing. You don't have to give that much, obviously. But whatever you can give helps. For those who don't remember, I started my campaign in 2018. I wrote myself a check for $10,000. Then I raised $500,000. And we ran that campaign on $500,000. Right now, Cuomo, before he left, had $20 million in his campaign. The Republican now is, what, 15, 20 million in his campaign? Something like that. Huge numbers. The odds of me raising that amount of money, slim. I'm probably not going to raise 15, 20 million. I don't need that much. I don't. I raise 5, 8, 10 million. I can win this thing with $8 or $10 million. Win. Done. I'm the governor if I can raise that kind of money. The question is how to make that happen. Well, here's the weird part. People don't want to give until people give. That's how it works. So when we give, then others see it and they go, oh, people are giving. Let me start giving. That's the issue. That's why I always bug you for cash. That's why I do it. Because the cash you bring in, heavy hitters will see and go, ooh, there are people out there who are happy to give me $40,000. Some of you don't know this. It's public if you want to check it. All my stuff is public. There were people who gave me over 20 grand. Over 20 grand because they knew that we were going to make impact. And we did. And then the governor took everything away. So now we have to get it back again. I'm ready. We can do this. But Brian, not 45,000. Don't get me in trouble. Do 40,000. Be fine. Anybody want to help out, please help out. LarrySharpe.com. Click donate. Or click the link there. Whatever you can do is awesome. That's great. I'm in sine waves talking to people. Michelle, yes, Michelle, you were helping me out when I was crossing the state, driving me around. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that time that we spent with Jay was awesome. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And yeah, we'll have to start crossing the state all over again. Yes. Paula says if we can get you $10 million, you'll be governor of New York. You are correct, Paul. That's accurate. 100%. Yes, that's accurate. Yes, 100%. So, and the other great thing is, look, we start building out the state more. So we have more support. For those of you who are like, Larry, I love you, but I'm still a Democrat or Republican. No worries. Let me ask you something to think about. Wouldn't it be better if Democrats, Republicans leaned more liberty? We would have better Democrats and better Republicans, wouldn't we? If they lean more liberty? If we make impact in this election, that will happen at a minimum. At a minimum, they'll have to, because we will be a block that they will need. And they'll say, you know what? We can't just get behind all these crazy things. That's it. So yes. Leslie says, you were the first politician my mom loved. Oh, that's so sweet. That's very sweet. Thank you, Leslie. I wish you were here to see Cuomo go and vote for you again. That was so nice. You just made my night, Leslie. Totally worth doing what I'm doing. Thank you. That was very nice. That was very nice. I hope you're healing well. Jacob says, campaigns are costly. Yes, Jacob, you know, they are indeed. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Very tough. So given that Cuomo was behind the Spitzer investigation, I question its validity. Ooh, interesting. They have an interesting way of thinking. You know, this is what I would say. I'll try to be fair and give credit where credit is due. Letitia James came out swinging. Kudos to her for being strong. At the same time, it was a hit piece. I mean, it literally was a hit piece. And it shows what prosecutors will sometimes do to people when they want to put them away. Ignore anything that doesn't seem to make any sense and immediately attack everything that fits your narrative. So there was some of that. Was it partially political? Yes, absolutely. But even if it was political, which it was, why does he have no friends? Right? That's the issue. I would hope, oh my God, I would hope if that ever happened to me and some woman said I had harassed her or something, I would hope that everybody would be like, yeah, that's Larry. I would hope that wouldn't happen. I would hope someone would say, wait a minute, really? Is that Larry? Really? I would hope they would say that. But nobody said that with him. They were like, yeah, that's him. Yeah. They were either silent or it helps turn the knife. So, David, either one could be faulty, either the Spitzer one or him. But Spitzer admitted to it. And Cuomo has no friends. So I think if it was bogus, it might have come out at least a little bit, I think. So, yes. Anyway, yes, there we go. So Larry, what new devil do you think we'll end up with? I think we'll just have a mediocre Hochul for a year and a half, and then we'll run a hardcore campaign and see what happens. So, yeah, absolutely. Rich says, Larry, run again. Thank you, my friend. If you want to help out, please, LarrySharpe.com. Move that forward. And, you know, if you can, help me move forward and see what's going on. That's really a piece, right? So, yes. Daniel says, a couple of plumbers living together in the Bronx. Super Cuomo brothers, though plumbers are weight class in these two. I must have missed that. Something else here. I must have missed that. Sorry, Daniel. I must have missed something else. So Andrew says he only cares about himself, not the citizens of New York. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Christopher says, well, at least he legalized weed for whatever reason. I'm just glad it was done. Yeah, but it wasn't done well. We have to fix that too. Thank you for that, Christopher. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk about that. Let's discuss weed and legalized weed. When I talked about it, I teased talking about regulate it like onions, but I wasn't joking. It was a tease, but it wasn't a joke. It was real. Why? Right now, how legalizing weed is going to become is big business is going to get big licensing so that they can control large tracts of land. They're going to crush the small farmer. They're going to tax it to the point where it's so expensive there will still be a black market. The small dealer will still be a criminal. And when the small farmers grow anyway, they will be punished by government. Larry, how do you know that? That's literally what's happening in California. The way you legalize weed is to treat it like a plant, not like a controlled substance. You treat it like a plant. This allows a small farmer to grow a craft grow. How do we know that will work? Because it worked in New York State with craft beers. So we already have the model. It's already working in New York State. Crafts coffee and coffee shops. It's already working in New York State. We already have the culture and the environment I was talking about. Small local businesses growing their own craft grows and craft brews so that people locally can buy and get involved, and then they grow as fast as they possibly can locally. You add on top of that a very simple New York State law. If you agree that you will sell only in New York State and not outside New York State, you should be immune from all federal regulatory bodies. You do that, and the little guy has a chance at least to move forward, a shot at moving forward and trying to fight the big boys. Because all the franchises, all the big boys, they sell across the state lines. So they have to follow federal regulatory bodies. But you have to be transparent. Let people know we don't follow federal regulatory bodies. And if that matters to you, don't buy the product. If you don't care, buy the product. Up to you. You do that, and now it'll begin to work. Right? We've got to make it to where that kind of thing works. We need a little person to move forward. And I'll go one step further. How about let businesses that hire former convicted felons, give them 2 years with no payroll tax? But Larry, small businesses will hire these people and not pay payroll tax fees and then fire them and let them go. Good. You're training. You're literally giving 2 years of experience for my convict population. Good. And I'm not paying for it. Good. What's wrong with that? That's the kind of thing we want to do. right? That style of thing. That's what I mean by changing the environment, letting people grow and not just waiting for the government to somehow save us in some way, shape, or form, right? I think it's Nightvale, sorry. He says he went after Justice Kavanaugh. Yeah, he did. Hard. Remember that? Right back at him. Absolutely. Right back at him. 100%. Yes. So there we go. Jesse says, if you run again, you have my vote already. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I really do. Absolutely. Sam says, but without Andy, who will be in charge of the state-run capture of our tourism industry? Yes, that's true. Now what will happen? Terrible. I completely agree. How will any of these things work? I agree. Yes. So Michael says, nailed it. Same thing happened with weed in Canada. Absolutely. Michael, we've got to change it. We really have to change it. That's the issue. We really have to change it. Absolutely. So yes. Nate says, regular like onions. I'm smashing the heart button for that. Yes. We need to allow people to just be. New York State has to be more friendly to small business. And I look at farmers as small business owners. They should be treated the same way. Yes, absolutely. It's important for them to do this. That's how we begin to grow. That's how we make things forward. So Mara Brothers reference, they were Italian plums. Oh, that's what that was. Thank you, Shelley, for letting me know. There we go. Thank you. Yes. I appreciate that. Yes. All right. Just adding what I was saying, please run. Guys, if you want me to help, please. You want me to help me run? Support the campaign already. Right? Let me know that people care. Tell your friends. Share this. Let people know. So that I know this makes sense. If I get enough groundswell, then the other people go, oh, this guy's making sense. Let's get behind him and move. It's going to take a bunch of cash. It just is a lot of cash. But we also want to do something else. We want to unite people a little bit, more. We want to unite more people in the movement, unite them outside the movement, all of those things. So, yes, absolutely. Yes. Steven says, Larry, you will always have the vote of the Underwood House. Thank you. New York needs Larry for governor. I do appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. David says, it's ironic that Me Too movement Democrats aren't as mad at King Cuomo as they're mad at Kavanaugh. You're right. And the funny thing is, some of them actually left. Like they were like, you know what? We got to step down because it looked so bad. It was so horrible for this. It really was. Larry, please run for governor. Guys, yes, thank you. Please remember, LarrySharpe.com/donate. Click the link. Help out, right? Please help out. It does make sense. David says money bomb. I love it. You know what? Let me consider one of those coming up here soon too. It's not a bad idea. David says Cuomo's so vindictive. That is true. 100%. Yes, he might do something to intentionally hurt the Democrat Party on his way out to satisfy his ego. Yeah, I think it depends, David, if he's thinking long-term or not, right? If he's thinking, maybe I have a chance, then he won't. If he's thinking, to hell with these guys, then I think he will. It depends where his head is. But you're right, he's very vindictive. I mean, that came out actually in the came out in the report. Yes. So what happens to that money? Can His Majesty keep it? Yes. For those of you who don't know how that often works, they will find ways to funnel money into other things. Once they have all that cash, as long as using it for political reasons, it's okay. They can give it to other candidates. They can donate it to other think tanks, such like that. So what some people will do, just so you're aware, if you have say you run for Congress and you raise a couple $1 million and you get $1 million, left over after the campaign's over. In theory, you could literally donate, say, $1 million to a think tank. And the think tank brings you aboard as a director, a board member, and they pay you a salary of $200,000 a year for 4 years. So they pay you $800,000. They keep $200,000 in their pocket because then you gave them $1 million. So you basically bought yourself a job. That happened. Things like that happen, right? Or I donate money to someone else who's running, or to a PAC or something, and then I get a job afterwards. They hire me on board or something like that. So that kind of thing happens often. So he'll do something like that. He'll find an answer for that. Absolutely. Mike says, $100 head your way. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. Thank you. Nate says, damn it, I want to give 45 million. I know. Some people want to give 45 million. You can't. It's only 44,000. So Nate, it's fine. It's fine. Find a cool PAC that'll support me and throw them a couple million. It's fine. There's always PACs. So yes. 44K seems like a lot. It does, which is why New York State is able to have the heavy hitter donors do what they do. That's what I'm up against. Remember, when someone goes on the board, gets on the board for His Majesty, that person donates $40,000 to the former king. How do you think he raises $500,000 a year? Almost $500,000, a little bit less than. Almost $500,000 a year for people he puts on boards. Because each of them can basically write him a check for 30, 40 grand. And it's legal. So yes, it does seem like a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm up against. So if you happen to have $44,000 laying around, send it my way. If you happen to have it. I hope you all have that kind of money laying around. I love that idea. I mean, just that would be amazing. I hope you guys had that kind of cash. That's awesome. So yes. So, all right, let's see if I can keep going down here. Hey, Larry, my honey and I are going to the fair, and we are start committing for your hot bodice of the campaign. I may be heading to the state fair coming this year. I got to figure that out. So I may be doing that. Yes. Andrew says your plan, Larry, would have helped the state completely. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. Yes. I see that already. Yes. Logic says fix the crime in New York. And to me, that's a good portion of the battle. I agree. And again, that's getting people to have more options, right? That's really what it's about. Yes. Absolutely. Daniel says, hey, Larry, I believe that it was all planned out. Really? No way this happened just because Cuomo and his peeps are all walking away in great shape despite all the corruption. Terrible outcome for New York. Let me think about that. I don't know why. Planned by whom and for whom, right? That statement's too generic for me to think about this. I'm not sure. Planned by whom and for whom? By Cuomo? I don't see it. By maybe other Democrats to get rid of him? Yes, that's possible. Yes. Lisa James and the anti-Cuomo faction? Maybe, yes. But by Cuomo? Tough for me to buy that one. Tough. Chuck says, you know the full Sharpe? You know I am. Absolutely. I'll be doing another full Sharpe this year. Either running or not. But either way, yes, of course I will be doing that. I still love my state. I really do. Nate says, Cuomo will run for POTUS in 7 years. Bet me, Nate. I don't want to bet you. I don't want you to be right. I don't want you to be right. Oh my God, I hope you're wrong. God, I hope you're wrong. Yes. Jim says currently 8 states allow for fusion voting, multiple lines. Yes. Connecticut, Delaware, Idaho, Mississippi, New York, Oregon, South Carolina, and Vermont. Thank you for that, Jim. New York, and it was one of the few who has fusion voting. So yes, it does open up the idea that we actually can run on multiple lines. So I can still be registered libertarian and still run different primaries and that kind of thing. The odds of me winning a primary in 2 different primaries are slim, but maybe. Well, I missed something. What's the full Sharpe? The full Sharpe, guys, is me going to every single New York State county, all 62, and I've done so every year for the past 4 years. So I visit every single county in New York State at least one time, if not more, whether I'm running or not. And I do events there, talk to people. I still do it. It's called the full Sharpe. I do it every year because I want people to know who I am. I want to understand the state well. I can't do that without physically going there and talking to people and seeing things. I understand how New Yorkers work and think because I go to every county every single year, and it's called the full Sharpe. That's what that means. So yes, I hope that answered your question. So yeah, I want to make sure that we do that. It's important that we do that. Lower tax on Long Island. Let me tell you, Dave, how you do that. Let me tell you how you do that. The thing that's killing Long Islanders more than anything, there are many things killing Long Islanders, but the number one issue of all of them is, without question, property tax. That's the number one. Again, there are many things, but that's the big boy. The way you deal with that is by changing how you fund schooling. In New York State, it is in our Constitution. We have to. Those of you not in New York State, you may not know this, but in New York State, it's in our Constitution. In New York State, education is a right. It's in our Constitution. We have to pay for grades 1 through 12. We don't have to pay from the Constitution for kindergarten or pre-K. That's local people decide that, and we do that, but that's not the Constitution. We must pay for grades 1 through 12. So may it come directly from the state. Money coming directly from the state. And each district gets dollars based upon number of students in the district, period. No matter what, you get those dollars. So if your student moves districts, the money moves. What? Are you saying money follows the kid? Yeah, I am. You pay directly from a state. Now, there are two ways of paying from a state. Number one, you create a specialized cryptocurrency or a specialized gold-backed currency, which is legal in New York State if you go through the rules that's only spent in New York State. It can't be spent outside of New York State. It can be done. It is tricky, but it can be done. So either crypto or gold-based, either one of those two, or you have another way of using New York State property, meaning state-run property, and you somehow lease that out to create cash to pay for the education budget. So, or a combination of those three. You do any of those three, so there's no extra taxes for the people on Long Island or anyplace else in New York State, and you remove all school tax. You, Dave, know that about half of your property tax, depending upon where you live in New York State, about half is school tax. Imagine if every New Yorker got their property tax cut in half. Long Island becomes livable. It becomes survivable. Long Island becomes survivable just by doing that. Education gets better, more education choice by default more education choice, and lower property taxes by about half, depending on where you live in New York State. That can be done. I don't hear anyone else talk about that. I don't hear Republicans, Democrats talking about that. I've been talking about that for months, almost a year now. I'm talking about that since I saw how bad the budget was last year with the COVID, and I had the new plan to fix education. That's the new plan. That's how you do it. So you can absolutely do it. It can be done. You do that, and now we got Long Island back in action. Absolutely, but not just that, upstate New York too, all over back in action. It absolutely can be done. Yes. Gene says, is Cuomo vindictive because it's Italian? No. God, terrible. Yes. Kendra says the property tax on Long Island is actually insane. Yes. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you. Yes. That's why I travel. That's why I do a full Sharpe, because I hear everybody complain. I'm not joking, guys. If any of you watch me, I often do them live and I put them on Facebook, and people will yell at me. They will complain. People get mad at me. It happens all the time. If you're going to do what I do, you got to get yelled at. That's how it works. Don't do what I do, right? That's how it works. So yeah, I hear it all the time. She continues, I rent, and my extremely high rent for a tiny apartment, first floor of a house, barely makes a dent in my landlord's property tax. It's unreal. Yes, I agree. You change that, it changes everything. Absolutely, yes. We can absolutely make this work. Yes, 100%. So Donna says, I don't even live in New York, and I'll support you. Thank you. You've kept me sane during the past 2 years. Well, the funny part is, give or take half of the money that I brought in last time I ran was from out of state. So about half out of state, half in state. So yes, and the average donation last year was $85 to $90 was the average. I had some people who were giving only $3. No worries, I get it. And then people who gave 20,000. The average was about 80 to 85 to $90 was the average. Jason says Larry plus publicity equals win. That is correct. That's a mathematical equation. Yes, it is. Absolutely, yes, it is. 100%. 100%. So yes. All right. Let's see if I can do this here. Do you think Lieutenant Governor will be a lame duck? Kind of. Yeah, kind of. Yes. A little bit. Kind of. Yes. But I think she'll try to do something. So something. We'll figure out what she'll do. So yes. Let's see here. My siblings still live in New York State, and I hear about how bad the taxes are. Got to keep working to pay property taxes. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. So guys, look, you're talking a lot about the support. I hope everything I've been talking about makes sense. I hope you're excited. I am. I'm a little giddy. I am now. I was on the fence. I was very open. I was very much on the fence. Should I do it or should I not? I'm now starting to think about, really moving towards it. I'm going to have to talk with some of my people to decide if we want to make an exploratory committee next week or not. I do want to make a decision soon because now I have to. I have to now. So I'll decide if I want to start a exploratory committee by next week or so, and we'll see. At that point, I'll make a decision and we'll see what we can do here if we're going to or not. Either way, I need your help. If you care, if you want me to keep doing this, let's do this. Head on over to LarrySharpe.com. If you can do a monthly donation of even $10, $25, it's amazing because a monthly donation shows people that we're serious. We'll keep moving. That's awesome if you do that. If you throw a big dollars in, that's great too. If some of you got big dollars, throw it my way. I think it's awesome. Again, not $45,000. Nate, don't do that. 44,000 is fine. 40,000 is fine. 100 is fine. Fine, whatever we can do. But the more that comes in, the more that others see it, and then the more that comes in. So if you do that's awesome. I will set up eventually a Bitcoin piece. It will happen. It will eventually happen. So please click that link that's on there. Or that if you say to yourself, Larry, I want to, but I'm not sure if I want to, do a political contribution. No worries. You got the Sharpe show up. That helps my team more than me. But that's still fine. I need my team still. They're going to be helping out too. So that helps the team out more than me, but absolutely do that. Patreon.com/Sharpeway. $10 a month, $25 a month. That keeps the show going. It keeps me doing this. And more importantly, it keeps me connected to the state and to what's happening in the country. That's the most important piece. You might laugh and go, yeah, Larry, you seem to have many answers for many things. It's not because I'm magical. It's because I spend a lot of time out there meeting people, talking to them, asking, because I deal with you guys back and forth. I know a lot of you email me. A lot of you text me. A lot of you, reach out to me. I do watch them. My team monitors everything. I don't always get everything, but they forward stuff to me, right? You see, all of a sudden I get a guest that some of you like, I asked Larry for that guest because my team saw it. They forwarded to me, said, this guest is good, and we get a guest on or something. So I am paying attention. I hope you guys know I am paying attention. It does matter. It is important. If you want this to keep happening, support the campaign, support the show, throw a couple bucks my way so I can keep doing it. If you find value in this, and I think you do, or you will be watching. If you find value in what I'm saying, how I'm acting, if you think I'm making impact, I think I am. Then do one of three things. One, go take the World's Smallest Political Quiz. Support my sponsors. Take the quiz. Share it. It does matter. Take some tests. It's free. Please do that. If you don't want to do that, no worries. You can instead support the show. That supports my team. That my team is helping me out to make this work. It's all them doing a lot of the work here. They're the ones monitoring things, making sure things work, making all those cool videos. That's all them. $10, $25 a month at patreon.com/Sharpeway. If you want to support me personally, if you want me to run, if you want people to see that we're real, LarrySharpe.com. Click donate. Give what you can. Monthly is always better if you can do it. I know not everyone can. But if you say to yourself, Larry, I'd love to give you $500, but I can't. But I could do $25 a month. That I could swing. Then swing that. Whatever you can swing. Because the thing to remember is, once I start running, assuming I do, you guys saw me last time. That's all I do. I don't work. I don't work. I lost money the last time I ran. I didn't make money. I lost money the last time I ran. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm just letting you know what happened. So if you go, Larry, I'm going to have to struggle a little bit. Yeah, tell me about it. I am with you. And again, my stuff's public. I wrote myself a check for $10,000 and then didn't take a salary for a year and a half. So my finances were trashed doing this. Yes, they were trashed. Not complaining, letting you know. And I made impact. It was worth it. I will do it again if it's worth it. I know I'm asking some of you to stretch. Some of you are not. Some of you are doing well and you're not stretching. Awesome. Good for you. Some of you are not worried about that. It's going to be a stretch for me so we can stretch together. That's the issue. Joshua says, kill the SAFE Act. 100%. I was the only one in 2018 had an actual plan to get the SAFE Act trashed, and I still have it. We can still do it. We can still get rid of it. It won't be right away, but we can start with non-enforcement and move to a point where we can move right to eventually, hopefully within the first couple of years, into actually having it just removed, because it won't work, and that's the issue. So yeah, I'm absolutely there, 100%, absolutely there. So yes. Dixie says, if I don't pay my federal taxes this year, I can give you $12K. Dixie, please pay your taxes. Well, I would love, absolutely love to get $12K from you, but I really don't want you to go to jail. So please pay your taxes and give me less. Taxes, the government will put you in jail for taxes more than killing somebody, right? So just do that. Absolutely. Yes. Pay taxes. Curtis says, the crypto community needs an advocate. Yes. In fact, this evening I was going to have a crypto person on tonight, but then the governor gave me a gift today. So I will have her on next week talking about Bitcoin. I completely agree. We have to get rid of the bit license. The bit license is foolish. And the way we stop people from mining is foolish. If we really want to bring a bunch of jobs to the North Country, to New York State, and not having to force people to be in the cities, the first thing we do, Curtis, so you're clear, is we build at least one nuclear power plant preferably 3 in the North Country. That will bring tons of really good paying jobs, plus all the support paying jobs, but something more important. The land is physically cheaper there, right? It's physically cheaper there. If the land is physically cheaper there, it's much easier, particularly if you have nuclear power plants nearby, to actually build massive mining centers for cryptocurrency. We could make northern New York, the North Country, an area that actually is a crypto mining, center of our nation. We could do that. That could be done. Imagine all the jobs that will go to North Country. Tons of them will go there. I would love to make that happen. That really is a good answer. So yes, the cryptocurrency community, the crypto community needs that kind of help. It's not just currency, obviously, it's also blockchain in general. But if we all of a sudden had that pipeline from North Country and then straight down south to New York, and we can keep our finance here in New York City, now we got financing in New York City and cryptocurrency in North Country. What an amazing, absolutely amazing state we could have if we had those two. I completely agree. You're at that. Yes, 100%. Pascal says, what do you do for a living when you're not running? I'm a consultant. Just behind me here. This actually is my company called NeoSage, and you can't read the whole thing, but it says Ex Alto Concilio Victoria, which is Latin, which means from great council victory. I'm a teacher, a trainer, now heavily a coach because of the COVID lockdowns. But I do a lot of consulting. I've been at office in a public company. I'm a business guy. That's what I do. I train people. I've taught in a couple colleges. I've taught at John Jay College, Baruch College, Yale's graduate school, Columbia's graduate school as a guest instructor. So I've done all those types of things. I'm a teacher and a trainer. I teach emotional intelligence, emotional communication, leadership, post-industrial leadership, things like that. So I hope I answered your question. And I help executives become better leaders. So yes, absolutely. Nate says we would actually be the Empire State with upstate crypto in New York City. Yes, yes, absolutely yes. Totally true, Nate. I do appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. There we go. Daniel says, Larry, stop it. Nuclear energy is too clean. It's a terrible idea. Hydroelectric plants would be great too, but of course we need some Tesla-free energy and drop the mic. I think hydro energy is good too, but to be forward, nuclear is actually better for the environment than hydro and actually easier. So I think that's the key. Plus you can have multiple grids, right? That's the issue. You want to have multiple grids for safety. And this is the other piece that people don't realize. Centralized control is why the people who are attacking us, cyber attacks, are working. We actually want multiple grids. And if you've got multiple nuclear power plants, you have multiple grids. Now the cyber criminal has to attack all 3 grids separately. Is that possible? Yes, but so much harder. So why would they? They'll go someplace else. I don't want them to go anyplace, but I don't want them coming here. So we make it harder. Anyone who's in security knows, any security, cyber is the same as in that regard. You want to be the hardest target possible, right? You don't want a target that's easy. Most cyber bullies and cyber criminals, they're going for easy targets. So the most difficult target you have, the less chance you get attacked, less chance you have ransomware, all those things. If you got multiple power plants, if they do ransomware one power plant, hopefully the other 2 can take up and we just let that thing go away and reboot it, right? We'd hope that we just lose it and reboot it. That would be the hope. So yes, I hope that would work. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for today. I'm very happy that you guys gave me so much love today. I really appreciate it. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm glad he's gone. I felt a little bit more vindictive this morning, but now just go away and we're good. He's gone. Let's start looking for the future. If you want to support, if you think it matters, if you really want to make change and start focusing on how do we fix this state with real ideas and real answers, not just Cuomo's evil and bad, which we all knew that and now he's gone, or we'll just be Cuomo Jr. Nope. Most important piece, to have actual plans to make this state better. Remember something. New York State's an amazing state. For those who don't live here, it may not be clear to you. For those of you who live here, you know this to be true. It is diverse. You got great cities, great towns, farmland, mountains, whatever you want to do. You want to ski, you want to hunt, you want to go to a Broadway play, you want beaches, you want falls, you want lakes. We got it. It's amazing. Our government sucks. You fix our government, New York State's amazing. You just got to fix our government. And we can do it. Guys, thanks so much for today. I'll be back in action tomorrow. And tomorrow, I will actually be talking to our New York City candidate, Libertarian candidate for mayor. Talking to her. Hopefully, she will be able to get on the debate stage with Eric Adams. That would be amazing. Talking to her tomorrow at around 9 p.m. A late sharp way. Tomorrow, I will talk to you all very soon.